Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
This is Autoline Daily for Thursday, June 3rd, 2010. First the news and then the latest sales figures. A report out of Sweden says Volvo is interested in hiring Jan Ake Jonsson, who's the current chief executive officer at Saab, and Volvo wants him as their CEO. According to Reuters, Geely, which acquired Volvo from Ford earlier this year, wants to name a new CEO before it officially takes over Volvo in August. Current CEO Stephen Odell is leaving to head up Ford's European operations. Jonsson was quoted as saying, "I have promised Spyker CEO Victor Mueller to stay at Saab for a while longer." Gee, doesn't really sound like he plans to stick around to me. Hey, let's go back to Steve Odell for a moment. That's the guy who started the Zoom Zoom campaign when he was at Mazda. Ford announced it'll offer free charging stations to nearly 5,000 Transit Connect buyers. The company is partnering up with Coulomb Technologies, which specializes in EV charging stations, to install them for customers in 9 markets around the U.S. Even though the electric version of the Transit Connect will not come out until later this year, customers can begin having their stations installed right now, and those things cost anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. Audi is developing a technology that cuts fuel consumption by carefully controlling traffic lights. The company found that intelligent stoplights could cut CO2 emissions by 15%. It's working on a system that allows signals and vehicles to communicate with each other. Basically, the system allows stoplights to broadcast data to vehicles like how far away the vehicle is from the signal and when the light will turn green. It can even recommend a speed for drivers to maintain so the signal is green when they get there. The whole idea is to keep traffic flowing smoothly, which saves fuel, not to mention driver aggravation. Lexus is running a new TV commercial for its LFA supercar that pays homage to one of its ads from the past. You may remember that when the brand launched back in 1989, it ran a spot for its LS sedan that had a pyramid of champagne glasses stacked on top of the engine. Well, the company's taking the same idea and twisting it around. It's using the exhaust note for the LFA's V10 engine to break glass. To make sure everything worked, the company hired a physicist to help find a champagne glass with the same frequency as the car. Looks like a smashing success, darling. Hey, why's Honda looking over its shoulder, worried about who it sees closing in on it? We'll have the latest sales numbers right after this.
Introducing Bridgestone's 3rd generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.
Well, we got the sales numbers for new cars in the American market for May, and things are definitely picking up. Automakers sold more than 1.1 million units, hitting an annualized rate of 11.6 million cars and trucks. The Detroit 3 led the sales surge, gaining market share on the Asian and European automakers, and it was the truck segment that grew the fastest, up more than 22%, while cars were up just over 13%. As I keep saying, let's forget about comparing sales to a year ago. Chrysler was in bankruptcy and GM was just about ready to go in, which really skews the numbers. So let's do a month-over-month comparison. Nissan was the biggest gainer, up more than 31%. Then comes General Motors, up nearly 22%, thanks to good performances from Chevrolet and GMC. Mitsubishi was up strong, though its numbers are still pitifully small. Mazda and Ford rounded out the top 5 gainers for the month. But I also want to point out that Chrysler was up 9% for the month, the 5th straight month in a row that it's been able to increase sales, even though it does not have any new products in its showrooms. Even more amazingly, Chrysler almost caught the Honda brand for the month. If you include the Acura brand, Honda has a bit more of a lead, but it sure looks like Chrysler will completely surpass Honda and Acura if it keeps turning in numbers like this. Even though Toyota sales numbers started to soften, the Camry was still the best-selling car in America with over 29,000 units. The Honda Accord, the Civic, the Toyota Corolla Matrix, and the Ford Fusion rounded out the top 5 cars. The Ford F-Series was the best-selling truck on the market, hitting almost 50,000 units in sales and almost selling as much as the Chevy Silverado and Dodge Ram combined. In the luxury segment, Lexus clawed its way to the top of the list, just beating out BMW by only 124 units, while BMW beat out Mercedes by just over 2,000 units. Cadillac also had a good month, even though it trails way behind the other three. Yesterday, as I'm sure you know, Ford officially announced it'll close down Mercury at the end of the year. Last month, Mercury accounted for about 9,000 units in sales. Take that away, and Ford's market share would drop by almost 1 percentage point. The only other numbers that jump out at me? Suzuki's. It did not even sell 2,000 cars last month. In fact, in May, Mercury sold as many cars as Suzuki has sold all year long, and Mercury is going to be phased out. You can draw your own conclusions. Don't forget to tune in to Autoline After Hours tonight, when our guest will be John DeCicco, an environmentalist, formerly with the Environmental Defense Fund and now a senior lecturer at the University of Michigan. Will the oil spill in the Gulf change Americans' attitudes about using oil? That's one of the topics we'll be diving into tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on Autoline After Hours. And that's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.